That original law created a 25-foot buffer around police doing their job. That law faced two separate lawsuits, and one of those lawsuits led to an injunction, which means the law is not currently being enforced. Authors of this proposed bill say they want to add language to that law that they believe will take away the vagueness alleged in those lawsuits. As the current law is written, an officer can ask someone to back up 25 feet from an area where police are working at a crime scene or in the process of arresting someone. If the bystander disobeys police commands, they could be arrested and face 60 days behind bars and a $500 fine. The law came under fire in two separate lawsuits, one brought by members of a media coalition, including WTHR's parent company, Tegna. That lawsuit argued the law prevented journalists from doing their job and being able to exercise their First Amendment rights. A judge agreed and issued a temporary injunction. The state of Indiana appealed that decision. The case is set to be heard next week. The ACLU also sued on behalf of a citizen journalist. A judge ruled against the ACLU's argument that the law violated the constitutional right to observe and record the police. The ACLU has appealed that decision. Now, House Bill 1122 adds language to the original law, saying an officer can ask someone to back up if they believe that person's presence interferes with the officer's ability to do their job.
Laws are written in black and white. The real world is very gray. So it's up to the officer at that moment to interpret what's going on. And if that person's just casually standing there, it's probably not a situation where the officer is going to be concerned about it, depending on the situation. There are a lot of elements that can come into play there. But if that person's coming up, escalating the scene, trying to cause a little bit more chaos there, that certainly gives the officer reason to pause and say, hey, no, you don't need to be here.
And there was no debate on this law today. It passed out of the Senate's Corrections and Criminal Law Committee by a unanimous vote. It now heads to the full Senate, where changes can be proposed by it and considered. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
And tonight, two executive orders focused on transgender Hoosiers are now law after Governor Braun signed them.
So one order bans transgender women and girls from participating in women or girls sports at schools in Indiana. The other order states there are only two genders in Indiana, male and female.